I am live. This is Eric with Low VA Rates. As always on Friday, I come to you wearing red. And today I'm going to showcase some shirts for you. I'm going to bend down here and grab them real quick. So on Friday, if you wear red, and remember red, R stands for remembering, E stands for everyone, and D stands for deployed. Remembering everyone deployed. My goal would be to have the entire United States in red on Fridays. Now, not only would that look kind of funny, but it would be very patriotic because we would know everyone, regardless of your political stance, what you think about the NFL, whether you have a VA loan or a conventional loan, it doesn't matter. You want to support, love, and honor those who have served in the military. And one way to do it is to wear red on Friday. We got the other one? This is a good one? Oh, I guess I'm wearing the other one. So here's the one I'm wearing. Never thought I'd model a shirt before. Here's this one. We have a couple others. What we need you to do is you take a picture of yourself or of a loved one wearing red. You go onto Facebook and you put a hashtag. That's what that little, looks like a tic-tac-toe sign, right? Hashtag Red Friday, just like that. And then you want to tag Low VA Rates. So that's where you would put the little @ sign, and then you would type in Low VA Rates, okay? So for all of you that don't know how to do hashtags or tag someone, there's a quick little lesson on how to do it. If you do that, we will then comment back to you and we will send you some Low VA Rates swag for Red Friday. So please do it. We were hoping by now this would catch on a lot more and we would have people showing off their big smiles and their red shirts or red pants, red hats every Friday. And so we're hoping with a little bit of education, you'll do that. I really want to jump right into this topic that you see at the top of the board today, mortgage churn. I'm sure if it's not already down in the comments of this post, it's going to be, but I just published, if you will, an article that I feel very, very passionate about. I'm going to try to condense this topic today, but please share this video as much as you can. Invite people right now while we're live, and I would be more than happy to take some questions while we're on this topic. So there is a senator by the name of Senator Elizabeth Warren, okay? She helped create the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or the CFPB. And to Senator Warren's credit, she is very interested, or so she says. Her platform is protect the consumer. I see nothing wrong with that. We support that here at Low VA Rates, and we should ultimately be concerned in this country about the consumer. I'm a mortgage company, so in this particular situation, we're talking specifically about people trying to get mortgages or refinance, and even more specific, here at Low VA Rates, we're primarily talking about veterans. Now, Senator Warren wrote a letter, I want to say back in August, don't quote me on this, but it was somewhat recent, where she was trying to raise some concerns that she had, and she wrote a letter to the president of Ginnie Mae. Now, Ginnie Mae is not a mortgage company. They are an institution that helps create liquidity in the mortgage market for FHA, VA, and USDA loans. I'm not going to get real detailed on Ginnie Mae today. You can also research that. Again, a lot of information in the article that you are welcome to read. Here's my problem with Senator Warren's letter, or at least the way in which the media, a lot of times it's not the person behind the letter, it's the media and their misconstruction, if you will, about the facts. But Senator Warren brings a couple of good points up. Number one, she feels like veterans, okay, those are our almost 2 million fans right now, veterans could be taken advantage of, okay? Not good. Taken advantage. She specifically cites some concerns that the CFPB found in a report they did or in some research they did on solicitations, okay? Solicitations. I think I got this right. Not a good speller today. Listen, we solicit. We're a mortgage company. We are a for-profit company, and so we send postcards, we send mailers, we do these videos. Why? We would love to get some business out of it. But there is a line that you should not cross, and that is misleading or being super aggressive in your solicitations. And I commend Senator Warren for bringing that up. Senator Warren also brings up in her letter that it is possible that some veterans are refinancing, in her opinion, too often, okay? And she suggests not only are they refinancing too often, but every time they refinance, it's costing them money. And so she wants to make sure that they're not being abused. Again, I commend Senator Warren for bringing this to our attention. However, I feel as if though since that letter was written, both the response from Ginnie Mae, from news articles across the country, and just in my own personal experience, that this entire situation is missing an even bigger point. Okay? And here's what it comes down to. My article talks about, and the reason I bring this up is because it's everywhere. I was fortunate enough to be out in Denver, Colorado a couple of weeks ago at the Mortgage Bankers Association, basically their year-end expo, if you will, and got to meet with lots of business partners and industry experts. And because low VA rates, based on our name, focuses so heavily on VA mortgages, and we do lots of refinances, everybody wanted to ask our opinion on this situation with Senator Warren and Ginnie Mae. And I was somewhat shocked to realize that what was happening is there was a vilification. I can't remember if there's two L's and vilify or not, but vilification basically means everybody wants to pummel and blame and suggest that the streamline or EARL, which is a loan we do a lot of here at Low VA Rates, and we educate you veterans and family members of veterans on this all the time. There's a major vilification, and it's wrong. Because what Senator Warren and those that have gotten a hold of this letter are suggesting, at least in my interpretation of the situation, they're suggesting that it is the VA streamline refinance and certain lenders, they don't name any lenders, but they suggest certain lenders that focus heavily on refinancing that are to blame for this problem. Oh, and guess who they make sure we are very aware is being hurt? The bond holder. The only person that they seem to really be concerned about is the bondholder, because every time somebody refinances, let's say from 4.75%, and they come to Low VA Rates or one of our competitors, for example, and they get lowered to 3.25%, certainly they are charged fees. Senator Warren's right about that, but they save substantial amounts of money. Guess what? The bondholder that was holding this bond doesn't receive quite as much money as they thought they would, because the bond was paid off early and replaced with a lower interest bond. But in most cases, these same bondholders are the same bondholders that are buying this 3.25 bond. So it's not like they're completely losing. They're getting rid of something that was paying them more interest, and they're gladly paying money for something that's paying them still more interest than zero. So there's this concern that somehow the bondholder is getting the short end of the stick. Here's what happens when you vilify the VA streamline, and we see it every single day here at Low VA Rates. I will refrain from naming the companies that are doing it, but we are very clear, and it is very clear who's doing it. Once you make it more difficult to do a VA streamline refinance, or you vilify the VA streamline refinance like many are doing, what is being proposed, and time will tell what changes are made, is let's make it more difficult for the veteran to streamline their loan. I do not know how the VA, Ginnie Mae, or Senator Warren might bring to pass these restrictions. I've gone as far as written letters to as many people as I can with some suggestions from an insider's view on the industry on how they might be able to do it, because there are some problems. I'll finish with that here in just a moment. But here's what happens. You are holding hostage, and I hate to use that word, nothing underlying intended there, but you're holding veterans hostage when you make it more difficult for them to streamline their loan. In February of 2017, Ginnie Mae came out with a new rule that said VA loans could not be streamline refinanced unless someone had made 6 payments. Okay? Now, they said there is one condition. If somebody wants to refinance within their first 6 payments of their VA mortgage, then they're going to have to go and get, and I'm really watering this down for the general public, but you're basically going to have a worse interest rate. They didn't come out and say that, but nobody at Ginnie Mae would deny that. If somebody today wants to refinance with less than 6 payments, then they're going to pay more, okay? They're going to pay more in fees, yet Senator Warren's concerned about the fees involved with the refinance. If somebody wants to refinance their VA mortgage on a VA streamline within 6 months of their original loan, they're going to pay more fees. But if they wait 6 months, they don't have to pay more fees. Well, what happened is Ginnie Mae thought that was going to greatly curb the amount of people doing streamline refinances, and it did curb it. I just got off the phone yesterday with some people at the DC office of the Veterans Affairs, and their statistics show that we did see a decrease from last year to this year. A lot of that can be tied to this Ginnie Mae rule, but it still didn't curb the less than 6-month refinances quite as much as the agencies thought it would. So there's now talk of doing something even more. Let me show you what else happened right around February of 2017. All of our competitors that do VA purchases and VA cash outs started giving veterans a higher interest rate than they had been leading up to then. Why? Because they knew it was now more difficult for those veterans to refinance their loans. And the higher interest rate someone gives you, the more money they make. Simple as that. And yes, the Ginnie Mae bondholder also makes more money, but the originating loan officer and the company they work for, when they give you a higher interest rate, they make more money. I kid you not, VA Rates Nations, get behind this, make some noise, because what we're seeing, and we see it every day, is we have veterans. I just saw one yesterday, got a loan for 4.75% last month. That is ridiculous. No veteran should be paying 4.75% on their mortgage that they just got last month. So we're going to refinance that veteran within 6 months of last month. Right now, we're going to start a loan for them, and we're going to get them 3.75 to 3.25, depending on their appetite for closing costs and what their game plan is. But we can do a free loan at 4.25. They have no closing costs. Okay, so why? Senator Warren, why aren't you asking, what are we going to do to protect the veteran from the predatory lenders that are putting people at much higher interest rates than they should be? If you take away the veteran's benefit that has been around for years, the VA streamline refinance, or you make it more difficult, 4.75 is going to look like a good rate, because now what's to stop somebody from putting them at 5.25, making 8-9 points on the loan? Nothing. Nothing is stopping them from doing it. So, am I passionate about this topic? Absolutely, I'm passionate about it, because not all sides of the story are getting coverage. Not all sides of the story are getting coverage. Now, last thing I'm not even sure what I was going to say last. So, number one, I'm going to invite people to ask some questions. I don't know if maybe this is something that there's not enough knowledge about right now, so people aren't going to ask questions. Here's my plea for the Low VA Rates Nation and those that are following us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are. Share this post. Share, more importantly, the VA mortgage churn article that talks about vilifying it. And if you disagree, bring on the debate. Healthy debate is good. I don't have all the answers. I remember what I was going to say. There are veterans who, number one, are being taken advantage of. There are veterans who are refinancing too many times, and they are either knowingly abusing the VA loan program or they're doing it ignorantly. So in all my conversations with the Department of Veterans Affairs and anyone else who will give me a table to sit at in discussion, we do need to come together and fix this problem. I have great ideas on how to do it. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video next week on my suggestions on how to curb this unintended abuse. Here's my concern with overreaching government regulations and people who might not be fully informed making rules. Listen to me here. Let's just assume out of 100 veterans doing VA streamlines, 10 of them, okay? 10 out of 100, 10% of those doing VA streamlines are in that area that we want to protect. Maybe they're being charged way too many fees and not saving enough money. There's not enough net tangible benefit. Or they're refinancing from a arm to fixed, or they're just doing something that is not correct. Number one, here at Low VA Rates, we educate them on the risks. We have our own disclosure, the frequent refinance disclosure that educates veterans on why they shouldn't do this, but we do not take their right. They served this country. They put their life on the line. If they want to refinance under VA guidelines, they can. But here's the issue with overreaching government regulation. A lot of times when we try to protect this 10%, we end up hurting 50% of the marketplace. And I've got all sorts of data to back that up. I won't go into it now. This is a never-ending street. It's not an easy situation, but most of the news articles out there today are making it seem like this is a quick, easy fix. And guess how we fix it? Get rid of the VA streamline or make it more difficult. Veterans, you should be upset about this. You guys or anyone else that are going to be buying houses or doing cash out refinances in the next coming years, you're going to be in a situation if certain changes come where you aren't able to lower your interest rate as easily. I will breathe. Do we have any comments? Any questions? Nothing from Brady Smoot this weekend, huh? So here's where we are. Please share this, read about it, educate yourselves, let us know what you think, and we'll see you next Friday, same time, same place. Don't forget to wear your red.